this tutorial is doing this glass of water with these, I think the eucalyptus leaves in there. And we're doing it on Yupo paper. I recently went to a workshop where we did painting on Yupo. We did a couple of paintings and I learned a lot. It can be very challenging to work with because the Yupo paper is non-absorbent, so it's like painting on glass or plastic. The paint does not absorb. The good thing about that is, like on regular water paper, when the paint dries, it's about 20 to 30% lighter than when you first put the color on. With Yupo paper and this synthetic non-absorbent paper, it's about the same color when it dries as it is when it's wet because it's not being absorbed. It just sits there until the water evaporates and it leaves just this gorgeous color. But it can be very challenging. So this is an experiment. I have not done a Yupo paper tutorial before, so this may turn out really, really cool, and it may turn out, well, maybe I shouldn't have done this. But here are the colors that I've done for this. Some Payne's Gray and Quin Gold combined to make the darker leaf color, and then Quin Gold and Ultramarine Blue for the brighter color of the leaf, and then Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Sienna for the vase and the water lines in the vase, and then a little alizarin crimson mixed with burnt umber for the brown for the stem. So let's get started. Before we paint, I want to show you how easy it is to lift paint from Yupo paper. So I did this gradient wash of color using permanent rose and transparent yellow and just added a ton of water and let it dry like that. So the good thing about Yupo is it's so easy to pick up paint to make a highlight. So you just take a damp brush and then just rub it on, and look, it goes back to the white of the paper. So if you miss highlights, don't worry about it. You can easily add them later. Just like that. So easy. I'm going to start on the glass jar here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wet the area of the entire jar. I'm going to avoid the leaves because I'll add those later. So I'm just painting with clean water now. And then I'm going to get some of this mix I made of ultramarine and burnt sienna, and I'm just going to touch it on the edges of the glass, and it's going to want to go everywhere, and that's okay. I can manipulate it if it goes where I don't want it to go. I've just got a damp brush here, and I'm just kind of smoothing this out some. Remember, if you have some color where you don't want it, when it dries, you can easily lift it out. I'm just kind of maneuvering the paint here. It's probably hard to tell with that light on. Let me see if I can fix that. With the round light on, it's easier for me to see, but y'all can't see. I've still got this kind of damp brush, and I'm just moving it around. Okay, I think I'm going to let that dry. And if it turns out I don't like what it did, I can easily lift it up. So now I'm going to work on the leaves. I'm going to do each one individually, and if they're touching another, I'm going to alternate and skip the one that it's touching. So all I'm going to do is just drop in some water. I'm going to do several leaves here. This is the fun part. It's just dropping in, painting it with water first, and then dropping in some color. I think I can do this one. Okay, so let's drop in some color. Here's some Payne's Gray mixed with the Quin Gold. I'm looking at the reference photo and the leaves that are darker. I'm just going to drop it in. Let's see. Now I'm going to add some of the brighter green, which is the ultramarine, mixed with the Quin Gold. Get some variation on the leaves, let it blend on the paper. I've just got a round brush here, size 10. I could do this one right here. I didn't notice that one. Let's drop in some of the sap green, then go over here and get, not sap green, the ultramarine blue mixed with Quin Gold. Drop in some of this darker. The thing about Yupo paper, the end result is, or it can be pretty amazing, but it takes a long time to dry between the layers. Now I'm going to drop in some of this Quin Gold over here in a couple of spots just to get some brightness there. Some of these have just a ton of water, so I'm just lifting some up with my brush. I want a little bit of the gold in there. Look how that looks really pretty there with that, how the gold just went in wherever it wanted it to go. I like how this looks down here. I think I can do a couple of the leaves down here. I might try doing all of them. If they kind of blend together, that's okay. Let's put a little dab of the Quin Gold in here, just to get a little color. You can see I kind of went outside the lines here with this paint when I was doing the vase, and it's going to be so easy to clean up. Just take a brush, paper towel, dab it up. And voila, it's fixed. Okay, I'm going to do the stem here while it's still wet, and if some of the brown gets in with the green, I am okay with that, because that will be pretty. And this is just burnt sienna, burnt umber with just a little bit of alizarin crimson. I can clean that up later. I can work on my shadow here. This is just the burnt sienna and the ultramarine blue. Just looking at the reference photo and just kind of putting it where I think it needs to go. It's pretty dark right there. I'm just lifting up what I just put there. That's okay. This is just an experiment. Lift up some here. Lift up some here. Okay, I think I'm going to work on the other leaves. This is all still wet, but I'm going to go straight in with paint and not water first. Because these are smaller leaves. I really like that leaf there with the gold. It's really pretty. Okay, I'm going to go in with the darker green. Just dab some in here and there. Oh, that's really pretty how the burnt umber and alizarin crimson got to that leaf. I've got to add this little branch here, stem. Okay, I am going to walk away from it now and just let it dry. Okay, it's dry. It's really interesting how when it was wet, it looked completely different. The paint has kind of shifted around, moved where it wanted to go. It's just so interesting. So now I'm going to do some lifting. I think I've got a little too heavy-handed here with that dark color there for the rim. And so you could use a round brush, you could use a flat brush, you could use a Q-tip, a very fine point toothpick. But I've got this it's called the Incredible Nib, and it's got two ends to it. You can apply masking fluid with this, and also this end has kind of this wedge point, which you can really do some fine detail lifting. So just touch it on the edge here, take some of this off, then lift it up. Because like I said, I got a little too heavy-handed there. I may have lifted too much off. And then I need to define the leaf edge here a little bit. See how easy that was? It works so well. Rinse it off. This thing really is great for doing masking fluid. Another leaf edge here. And let's see what else I think I need to do. I'm going to clean up this shadow here some. I think I'll use a brush for that. Oops. Throw my brush around. And it's just damp, so I'm just going to touch the little outside of this and just come in and dab it up. Make sure you're using clean water when you do this, because it's like mopping your kitchen floor. If you don't change your water often, you end up mopping your floor with dirty water. Okay, I think I need a little highlight around here. And then this water line here. A little highlight on this side of I'm just looking at the reference photo and looking at my painting. Okay, I'm looking at everything here to see if I need to do any lifting on the leaves. And there are a couple of spots I think could use some. Like this top of the leaf was a little bit lighter. And the vein here, just a little line there. Maybe a little there. Just doing some leaf veins here and there. Not many, just a little. Okay, I think that's it. Now I need to add a little bit to the stem here. So I'm going to take a tiny brush. This is a 000. It's really tiny. Or you could use a larger brush that has a good pointy end to it. And I'm just going to make it darker on one side of the stem. Mix a little of the Payne's Gray with this burnt umber and alizarin crimson. Just to get a darker value here. Okay, I think this is good. Just on the right side of it. You could use a watercolor pencil for this if you wanted, or just a colored pencil, just to give it a little shading on one side of the stem. And all I did was add a little Payne's Gray to our brown mixture of alizarin crimson and burnt umber. That made it just a little bit darker. I love this leaf right here. It's so pretty. Okay, I'm going to let that dry and come back and see if there's anything else I need to do. Okay, I'm calling this done. It was really pretty simple. I just laid down some water, I dabbed in some color, I let it blend however it wanted to blend. I cleaned it up with a damp brush where it needed. Then I added highlights with this incredible nib tool. You could use a paintbrush, like I said, a flat brush, whatever you have. But as always, it's not complete until it has a matte. So pretty, and it's just so luminous how the paint just dries on top of the paper. It doesn't get absorbed, so it's very bright. It is really, really a fun thing to paint on. And it can be frustrating because it doesn't act the way it does on watercolor paper. So you kind of have to forget about how it works on watercolor paper and just go with it. And just know that you can correct almost any mistake. If I took a wet towel right now, I could probably wipe most of this off. Some of the colors would stain a little, but it would get pretty much back to the white paper. So thank you so much for subscribing to my Patreon channel. I really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you give Yupo paper a try.